One, two, three. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is so good to be back. My name is Farhad. I'm the host that loves you most. And this is kind of a new show here on Turin Giants Network, as we now call it, since the boys, Zach, Frederick, Kevin, and Jack, they are taking over some of the immediate Juventus duties, post games, and all sorts of discussion that pertains to Juve on the field. We decided to get a little talk show going. We shall call it Turin Giants After Hours.
Ooh.
I'm joined here by Alessandro Del Piero, my friend Rav, and a special guest. Boys and girls, say hello to Marco Messina.
What's up, guys?
What's up, buddy?
Am I on the first episode? Like the very first?
Yeah.
Very first episode.
Wow.
It's such a brand new show. We don't even have a intro yet, but Dan Colo is working on it. Welcome, dude. We've been chatting behind the scenes, and I think we're gonna have a great episode.
I'm honored. Thank you so much for choosing me to be the first one. It's also great to talk to Rav. I mean, I feel like I know him. We go so far back, but I don't think we've ever actually spoken. I've never heard his voice before. I've only imagined it. So it's good to put all these things together and to finally come on with you, Farhad.
Nice.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, it's my brother with a velvet voice. He puts all of us to shame with his.
That's true.
Not only is his voice velvet, it's also the accent. I mean, come on, it's not even fair.
That's why he can't show his face too. Otherwise, it'd be too much. He'd embarrass us all.
He's like Austin Powers. He's an international man of mystery.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
We have a lot to discuss, boys. Marco, we've spoken before. We've DM'd each other, and I love what you do. Truly, the OG of Calcio content creating, and I'm a little nervous, man. You can tell, right? It's been a while for me, and I'm hopped up on a lot of coffee. So, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have a good time.
Listen, it's a great time. I mean, I can't tell you, it's been a while since I've really enjoyed watching Juventus like I've been watching recently. I mean, we're just coming off of a 5-0 win where the team's playing football again. For me, it feels like, Rav, you'll probably be able to say this better than anybody else, it feels like the old Juventus is back. So I think it's the perfect moment to be discussing Juventus and for you guys to be launching this show.
Appreciate you, man. I can literally show you a text message that was sent to me 5 minutes ago by Zach that says, perfect timing.
Yeah, exactly.
5 goals. Somebody said, what was it against Parma when Tevez was still playing? We scored as many goals, right? Or
2018.
Like
yeah, 2018.
That's right.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. So, yeah. Let me kind of, go around the room. Rav, plug in your website. You are back out there. Rav was the original Juve FC guy, the guy who provided you news on the internet about Juve before internet existed. Juve FC was legendary. He has a new website now, Juve News Live. We reference it here on this podcast. We love that you're back.
Thank you, buddy.
Bringing us the news, and I'm excited to have you both here, man. First episode, and we're gonna have some fun. Marco, I mean, the easiest way to start the podcast is to ask you how you became a Juve fan. And let me ask you, like every American Italian kid, do you have a picture with a jersey that somebody brought to you from Europe?
No, I don't know if that's my story. Before I say that, I want to give credit to Rav, by the way. I mean, he is, for me, that is the OG. That was like the first time. I mean, I was on like a forum. I didn't know how I was using it. I remember telling my mom, like, Mom, I'm going to join this forum. And she was a little bit nervous for a second. And then I was like, no, I swear it's all about Juventus. And the amount of people that I met and the amount of people that I still stay in contact with, even Aaron West. I don't know if you know Aaron West personally. He's been here too as well. Me and him worked together as well at CBS. We've been on set together, and we're like, wait, didn't we meet on the forum? So like, Rav is OG before Twitter. Oh, wow. It was going there to find your news, but also just to like cultivate a community of fans that spoke in English and spoke together. And the great thing about it was that it was not to say that it was only positive, because people were critical of the team and stuff. You weren't happy about transfers and all the good stuff, but it was like respectful. Like it didn't have the same feeling that I think social media has. So sometimes I do reminisce and think back to those days and how nice it was to just stay on one topic and only focus on the football. So Rav, big credit to you for doing that and to still be here. So for me, it's an honor to be on with you. There we go. Press that bell.
Alessandro Del Piero salutes you both. Yeah, man. Rav is an OG.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate that.
If we can only have him reveal his identity, he could be a international star. But
he's AI.
He is
I'm a robot.
You never know.
50%.
If I was going to invent a voice, it would be that. If I ever asked AI for something. So
he chooses to remain anonymous, which is nowadays, it's such a, having your privacy is
smart.
very rare.
Smart. So you asked me how I became a fan.
Yes,
so typical story of like just being born into an Italian family. My parents are both from Italy, and my dad from the south of Italy, from Sicily. And I was just super connected to going back to Italy. Like I barely traveled in America. My family just always saved money, and it was like whenever we can, let's try to go back to the motherland. So I was always connected to my grandparents. Spent a lot of time with them. Try to learn the language. And of course, Calcio was just synonymous with it. It wasn't even a question. It's like Sunday mornings, my dad woke me up, he put me in front of a TV, and that's all we did. And then the way that it transitioned was there was a local Juventus club. They're called Juventus Club New York City. It's not the Empire State. It's a little different. This one's based in Brooklyn. It was close to where I grew up. It was in Bensonhurst in Brooklyn. And my father used to just go there because it was a place for like Italian immigrants to all meet and hang out. And there was people that were not Juventus fans that went there. There was even other fans that they allowed to come because it was more like a cultural place. Like imagine a cafe. And I was like 5, 6, 7 years old, and I would just end up at this cafe, and it was madness. I mean, the most typical thing you could ever think of. Like it sounds like a movie, but just like espresso going off, people bringing pasta, Italians screaming at each other, foosball games, TVs getting broken, chairs slammed. And for some reason, I loved it. And it was all based around watching Juventus games. And it was me and like 2 other kids, Giorgio and Luca. And we were the only kids that I think have ever walked inside that place, because I think most normal parents would not put us in that environment of cursing and yelling and screaming. And anytime Juventus would score, they'd flip the table and drinks would pour and aranciata would go everywhere. And we thought it was hilarious, and we loved it. And then 2006, Italy wins a World Cup, and Alessandro Del Piero is such an important part, and I just loved his style, his elegance, and more than anything, it was his respect and his leadership that he had to me than just the talent. Of course, he's incredibly talented, but it wasn't that to me. It was that he's a leader. He's somebody that I wanted to, when I was trying to become a player, it was to model themselves, but also as a person, how you treat yourself, how you go about your business, the way that you speak. I would study everything about that. I mean, I got kicked out of Catholic school because I copied his hairstyle, and it was too long for the nuns, so they didn't like it, and they literally kicked me out. My confirmation name is Alessandro because of him.
Wow.
I remember them saying, "Oh, you need to pick a saint," and they gave me a book, and I was like, "All right, don't worry, I already got this," like Saint Alex. And really, from there, I was always extremely tied, especially because of Del Piero, but then of course the values that I learned and really the community that was around me.
That's beautiful, man. Yeah, I can't imagine as a kid going into that atmosphere. And the first thing I thought about is the espressos, that little Marco at 8 years old sipping espresso.
It's not normal. I remember I used to go. I grew up in a neighborhood where I didn't grow up with a lot of Italian kids around me. I grew up with a lot of Italian adults, but the kids were more American, it's Brooklyn, it's New York, so it's like a lot of immigrants coming in. And when they heard what I would do on the weekends, they just thought it was like the crazy. I remember a teacher being concerned about like, are you sure this is okay? Like the cursing and all this stuff. But for us, it was normal, and for me, it 100% shaped me. And I often think about like, how do you recreate those sorts of memories? And I guess that's almost how I started transitioning, even what we do with our podcast and the studio that we have. It's like always having this madness and chaos and loud people around me my whole life.
I love that, man. I mean, shout outs to your pops, man. That's a beautiful thing to do to a kid. I try to bring I run a fan club here in Chicago. I try to bring my boy anytime I can, and he loves, the atmosphere. It is a bar, so sometimes it's 21 and over. If a Real Madrid is playing or something, it's packed. You can't bring kids in, but we try. That's beautiful, man. Alessandro, I didn't know you had such a connection to him. That's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, if you ask anyone in my family, that's like the first person they'll ever tell you about me being connected. It's like not even close. I remember I was 15, and on the football pitch, I got into a lot of fights. I was more of like a Gattuso type player, so I'd like fight and I was like bring the aggression and the energy because I wasn't that good of a player. So I used to get into a lot of fights on a field, and I remember I was 15 and I was fighting with this 30-year-old, and it was like when Messi and Ronaldo were getting big, and everyone in my group was a Real Madrid or a Barcelona fan, and this 30-year-old, he's like, you don't know anything about the sport. He's like, you probably think Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi are the best. And I was like, don't ever say that. Del Piero's the best. And he was like, whoa, okay. And he shook my hand, and we stopped fighting. And he's like, okay, you actually know football if you're telling me Del Piero. So, yeah, 100%. He's the only GOAT that I've ever had.
The boy knows ball. Yeah, man. We were talking about studio lighting, and of course, you guys have the basement. I mean, it's so beautiful. I want to visit so badly, and I'm gonna put you on the spot that I want to come visit. You don't even have to put me on camera or anything. I just want to go to the basement. It's so beautiful, and there's a Del Piero poster behind me. You said you don't like posters because the light reflects off them, but yeah, the Del Piero. Fun fact, it's actually not even a Del Piero jersey. This jersey is Zidane, and he made it crack about it when I asked him to sign it, but that was the only one I had. And I wore it all through the Champions League season when we went to the final, sadly. Was not that lucky, but yeah, getting Del
You
Piero
met him recently, right?
No, it was, I don't know, like 7-8 years ago. Shout outs to Juventus fan club of Los Angeles. There's this company that was sponsored by not sponsored, but he was a spokesman, and they invited us to a video shoot, and we just ended up having dinner together at his restaurant, which was such a surreal, and it was like a 30-minute dinner. We shared lobster pasta with him, and yeah, fantastic food at number 10. I don't know if it's still around his restaurant.
Yeah, it's got to be, no?
Rav.
Yes.
Any questions for our guest, buddy? I know you had it prepared.
Yeah, I mean, I had some, but I'm going to kind of deviate a little bit because I remember following Marco, like way back in the old days of Twitter, like when it first started. And I remember seeing him getting all these kind of, sort of exclusives, and then he set up IFTV. So I'm just curious, what was it? Was there a particular moment that made you want to go and do this? Was there a particular thing that you thought, okay, I'm going to just set up on my own, set up something, a podcast, and then it's going to develop into whatever? Was there like a particular thing that you can remember that sort of set you off on this journey?
So I remember that I used to see a lot of, growing up, like when I was in high school, because that's really where I think I started. I used to be in like, I don't know, English class, and I was like tweeting, and I just was not paying attention in school enough, but I just wanted to like tweet about Juventus news and talk about Juventus. It's the only thing I cared about. And YouTube was getting like really big amongst like our generation, and everyone was watching YouTube, and everybody that I watched on YouTube, they were a lot of like English YouTubers talking about the Premier League or talking about La Liga, and there was Kick TV back in the day. That was amazing. I remember when I watched Kick TV, I was like, oh my God, this is great. The only thing that bothered me is they said, I can't even, they never talk about Juventus. They never talk about any of the Italian teams, and I loved Italy, and it makes sense when you look into it because the Italians would talk about it, but nobody in English was really talking about it. So they were 100% my inspiration behind it. Jimmy Conrad of Kick TV was incredible. I mean, I remember me and my friends used to go home and we text each other, or I don't even know if we were texting, but we would just send each other like, oh, did you guys watch the latest episode of Kick TV? And I thought it was so cool, and I was just annoyed, and I said, oh, there's got to be something in Italian, or not in Italian, about Italian football. football. So basically just trying to find that path forward and setting up with really very little. Started in my grandpa's garage, literally with like an old iPhone, and because we didn't have money to invest in anything, and just taking the earphones that come with the iPhone and taping it right below the table so that you couldn't see it. Farhad would have had he would have been crying how bad the audio quality would have been. But we were, and oh my god, the comments that we used to get. With. It's all we had. That's it. And I literally remember being terrified to ask my grandfather, because he's old school Italian man. Oh, can I use the garage? And he was so confused, but he allowed us to do it, and it gave us just like a space to record. And basically, we've come a long way, obviously, with the technology that we have today. But it was just do whatever you can, try to talk about the league and this country that I love more than anything.
That's beautiful, man. That's awesome. We kind of failed to introduce Marco. Does that sound correct? I mean, he is. Who are you in IFTV? Like, are you the president, CEO? You guys are. You're a host. You're the bigwig over there at Italian Football TV. If you're a Juve fan, I mean, if you don't know IFTV, shame on you. But yeah, now the boy's grown up. He's wearing suits on CBS, man, interviewing big wigs. I love that so much. Seeing you, I was genuinely very happy. I know and Rav will attest to that there's so much hating going on in social media where content creators go big. It can be a toxic place, and I've always been on your side. I don't mind, telling you that your success is seeing you on CBS for the first time. I was like, oh my God, I need to send this guy a text. It's not a text, but a DM. It's a beautiful journey you've been on, man.
I was going to say, sorry, I feel like this weird, in a weird way, like this sense of pride, almost like from seeing Marco, like, when he first sort of started out, I was like, if you want to see what you can achieve by just kind of, it sounds corny, but like following your dreams, having a passion for something, and then just being like, right, I'm 100% committed to this, and I'm going to take it all the way through. And now, like I'm on Twitter and I see like clips in CBS pop up, and Marco's interviewing this guy, or he's talking about Juve, and I'm like, oh wow, this is amazing. So yeah, you deserve.
Yeah, I mean, his the way he speaks, the way he carries himself. My God. Mm-hmm. By the way, we need to get Matteo next. We've spoken, but he's just very busy. He disappears, and I love that Marcos. He kept his promise. He came on with us. But Matteo, we're coming for you definitely. He will be in Chicago for some kind of business, so I DM'd him to make sure that he we'll go have a beer or something together.
I'll send them a message to follow up. But thank you guys, very very kind words. I need to hang out with people like you more. These are nice compliments to get. My crew is a little bit more difficult.
We'll talk about your crew, man. After
but
Matteo,
thank you, Rob.
Matteo,
appreciate it.
Antonio is next, man. I we need to get that man. Tell us a little bit, obviously without revealing much of his personal life, but Antonio is such a character. It's a loud, bald Italian man. It doesn't get better than that. Everyone needs one on their podcast. We're looking for one. Would you let him go and have him join our podcast?
I mean, yeah, he can. I mean, number one, he's not going to know how to set up anything, so I'm going to have to be with him and figure it all out. But I don't know if you guys want to deal with him for that long and have to actually pick his brain. He's the uncle that's not related to me. He's just been around in my life, and I went from, oh my God, I couldn't stand him when I was a kid. When I was like 13, 14, he was the non-Juventus fan that used to come to the Juventus club, and anytime, I'll never forget. Do you remember when Buffon made the mistake? I believe it was against Lecce, where right. in the season that Juventus
almost cost us the title.
Almost cost us Scudetto. He was there and screaming at the top of his lungs, cheering. We wanted. I mean, I don't know how he came out alive. Like you never would have found out about Antonio because that day he almost lost it. But they kept him around because he's a funny guy. He's like the balance that you probably need in life. That he'll humble you, and he just he's a crazy Milan fan.
the original troll, right?
He's a crazy Milan fan, and the crazy thing, people always ask me, "Oh, is he really like that in real life?" Yes, he is 1,000% himself. I wish he wasn't. I wish he was a little bit more tame. He's like the typical Italian fan that he can't see any other side. He can't give credit. He doesn't hate Juventus as much. He hates Inter. He will never say a good thing about Inter. Doesn't matter if Milan play good or bad. To him, none of it matters. Rivalry is rivalry. He can't stand whenever I try to be objective and I try to say something bad about Juventus. He goes crazy. Oh, you should never do that. You should never say something. I said, oh, but Antonio, I have to say the truth. I'm analyzing what I see. If something's not good. No. You can never do that. Never. So he's old school type of man, and you could have him on your podcast, but I'm telling you, I think you'll kick him out after 5 minutes.
We'll have the worst audio quality. We'll have the worst video quality.
The video will be up his nose, like you're gonna see his nose hair. It's gonna be bad.
Is he one of those people who FaceTimes like half the face is showing and his nostrils?
Yes. He's not capable of texting. Like he has to like call you for everything that he needs. He's really old. He's a really old Italian guy.
He's a national treasure. Do not speak of him like that. There's something I wanted to bring up. Let's switch gears to a little more serious topic here. You mentioned being neutral and analyzing. And I know it hurt me personally. I don't know why, but when you went, let's say, national, and you have to give props to teams that are not Juventus, and people were just such a-holes, and I hated it, and I defended you. I don't mind telling you, without kissing your butt or anything. But I was replying to comments and messages like, that's his job. The guy went from the basement to CBS, to Allianz Stadium, to San Siro. You can't expect him to be a Juve fan. Like, what is there anything, since you have the platform now of literally dozens of new followers, is there anything you want to tell people who are offended by the fact that you're a Juve fan praising Inter or praising Milan or, doing your job basically?
Yeah, I would say, number one, I get it because I grew up around a guy like I just mentioned, Antonio, who, like, for him, he only sees one, and that's like a tifoso. It's a tifoso that I get why they think the way that they think, and I think that anything you see from somebody, if you see a small clip of something that I say or something that I've done, you think that that's you know me completely, and I don't blame people for rushing to judgment because there's a lot of those comments that I've dealt with in the past. So I don't blame anybody. But the thing is, I know myself. I know what I believe. I know what I think. I've always felt like nothing changed with me. I feel like I've always been this way. I've always been very good at just being objective about something and just seeing something for matter of fact. I also grew up in America, and I kind of told you my backstory. Like, I grew up with old school Italian guys, but like my immediate friend group was all like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Man United fans, all of those. So when I would go into school the next day, I would have them, if an Italian team lost, oh my God, you Italians suck, you guys are terrible, the league is, and for me that built like that rage of like, no, I gotta defend everybody. That's the household that I grew up in, and I lived with my grandpa, my Italian grandfather, who was a diehard Inter fan, oh my God, and we used to fight every day. He lived right above me, and I remember we couldn't watch Juventus Inter in the same room, so he would be upstairs and I would be downstairs, and if Inter would score, he'd hit his cane, and then if Juventus would score, I'd jump on the couch and I'd start punching the ceiling. And I mean, I remember one time my mom thought that he fell because he was hitting it so loud. I was like, no, my Inter scored. Like that's why. But if we'd go out to a restaurant, for example, even when we were kids, he used to make a joke if Juventus would lose to anybody, we'll give the check to him. His team lost. So we always had this crazy banter between the two of us. But like the only time we ever came together was in the Champions League. Like if any Italian team was playing, we'd be like, okay, now's our time. Like we could finally be friends. Like we'd watch a game together. So like that's just the environment that I grew up in. And same thing with my father. My father is like, he's not like true tifoso. He's sportivo. Like he always told me, he's like, you got to see that if this team doesn't play well, no, you don't want them to win. Like you need to do things the right way. So I think that that's always been me. And I know for you and for Juventus fans, like that's not what you want to hear, but it was the truth to me. So like even at moments, I was there when Inter won their their second star, the 20th Scudetto. And again, it sounds corny, but like I felt like my grandpa was there in that moment because he passed away, and like I just thought to myself, I was like, wow, this is so crazy that like I'm here in this moment. You know, he never got to see what I was able to do. He passed away right during COVID. And I remember just like feeling that pride. I felt like he was with me in that moment. So it's like those emotions are impossible for me to hide. Like in that moment, it went beyond everything. And that's me though. That's personally me. I don't blame anybody for saying that's not what a true fan is. 100% agreed. Not everybody should support teams the way I support it. But it's just my story. It's my upbringing, and that's sort of the context behind it.
I think that's beautiful.
I think that's something that people don't fully appreciate is the emotional connections that you have. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes, you know, like you say about your grandfather. I have a cousin who supports Inter, and he sends me stuff when they win, and I send him stuff when Juve win. And when they were losing in the Champions League, like I was sending him so much horrendous content, and I felt so guilty. It was like I felt so guilty, and like in the moment, I was so kind of like pleased about it, but at the same time I was so conflicted because this little kid, like he's my little baby brother almost, and
how
he's
old
so
is he?
upset about the losing. I say baby brother, he's 30. But you know, like to me, he's always going to be a kid, and he's watching this team. You know, like he used to support them since Ronaldo was there, and he's like crying, and I'm like, oh, man, this is really tough to take, and that's the thing that people don't see. So I completely get where you're coming from, man. I think people are just a little bit too harsh about this.
And you need the banter though. Like I don't want to say like I love I love observing. I love when a team wins and you guys are making fun. For me, it's hilarious to watch. I would never say get rid of that. That's also what football is about.
Yeah.
But on to piggyback on that, I respect, and you never went nasty with your followers and the comments, and you never went back and forth. That's kind of what separated IFTV from the rest of content creators, and I tried to emulate that. In the beginning, I was replying to tweets and being nasty, but then I was like, those guys are doing stuff neutrally, and they're providing their opinion without getting personal with people who follow. And I imagine sometimes it's tough. I mean, sometimes people are nasty, and I'm glad you had the time to kind of clear the air. And people need to understand on CBS, you're doing your job, man. If CBS hired me, I would have to put the personal differences aside and kind of provide the neutral view, and that's what you're doing as your job.
It's also like me too. Like when I watch something, like I personally, I just see it for what it is. Like I could explain things without putting that emotion behind it, except the Italian national team. That's the only thing that I can't be objective with. For some reason, I mean, I see red. I can't even watch a game and speak about it. It's very difficult for me. Maybe it's some of the hardships in the last couple of years or so. But what was I was about to add something to which, at the end of the day, of course you see comments. You have to realize that people are very emotional. I don't blame them for being emotional. As I mentioned before, they see something in a moment of time and they make a judgment about it. And it's impossible for me to blame it. When we started, Juventus was winning title after title after title after title. Every single comment was Juventus fan TV, Juventus football TV, whatever it was. You guys are so forward for Juventus. Yeah, because Juventus is winning. There's more content for us to share. Then Milan won. You guys only like Milan. Then Inter won. You only like, now Napoli. You only like Napoli. So, but you have to, also as people, we have to be self-aware of that. And you can't just emotionally rush and try to justify yourself very much. I made the mistake of trying to do that early on. I think I learned, without a huge sample size. And as long as the people around you, like I said, I try to be objective with sports, but I also try to be objective with myself. I 100% have made mistakes. I've said stuff that I regretted. I said stuff, no, I think I was wrong there. I shouldn't have went that far. And then if I think it was wrong, or if people around me like that are really close to me will tell me like, if I ever get a close friend that sends me something and it's like, I can't believe you said that, or I can't believe you tweeted that. That's when I know. That's when I'm like, okay, maybe I didn't fully explain myself the way that I was actually thinking in my head. And that's the only time that I will try to change and respond to somebody as if I'm misconstrued in a certain way. But besides that, again, I don't blame people. They're not as invested in my life. They're not as invested in everything that goes into why I formed an opinion on something.
I love it. Well done. Rav, do you have
Yes.
a question
Yeah.
for our guest?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we asked this, or this has been asked a lot of times, but is there a particular memory when it comes to Juventus that is your favorite? Is there something that just stands out? As soon as someone mentions Juventus, it's like, oh yeah, it's this. It has to be this particular moment.
Defining
that makes
moment.
me super happy. Yeah.
For sure, it's the 2011 season where Juventus won that Scudetto, because I was a senior in high school, and you start to understand football at a tactical level, and just the emotions of being like an underdog and like watching that team go from 2 7th place finishes and everything just like being super difficult to then winning in the fashion that they won. And again, nobody expected that to be. I can remember. I want to go back. I need to go back, and I really want to watch every single match, because you just lived it with so much emotion. Every game, I was at the edge of my seat, and Conte just made you believe in what he was doing. And then you started to see the evolution of watching Andrea Pirlo, like with young eyes, and seeing what he was doing, the genius, and Lichtsteiner making those runs, and the midfield starting to develop, and then getting a kid called Paul Pogba and watching him develop. To me, that was beautiful. That was like football. That was the moment that it impacted me too as a person. Like for me, Conte taught. I listened to every press conference in those years. I read everything. Like when he said, I want you to spit blood. Nothing is done until it's there. You could overcome anything with hard work and not just talent. Because I've always felt like in my life, I've never been that talented. It was like he all of that came together at a time. So for sure that season, but one specific moment, and I don't think anyone will ever say this. It's so weird that this stuck out at me, but it's what I alluded to before. It's that Buffon moment where he messed up against Lecce, and there's a shot of Alessandro Del Piero running over and giving him a high five, saying, "Come on, boys, let's go."
Yeah.
That to me, because even in that moment, again, I was at the Juventus club watching this game, old school times. Buffon is a legend. Nobody will ever say a bad word about Buffon, but in a moment when he makes a mistake, people were cursing. We're all pissed off at Buffon in that moment, prisoners of the moment. And then it was Del Piero kind of telling everybody, like, relax, nothing is done yet. Like, we can do this. And I realized to myself, I was like, damn, that's why he was my guy. That's why that is how I would want to be in such a tough moment where it's so easy to point fingers and throw your hands up in the air and get pissed off. Like, that to me symbolized everything of why I got into the sport and why he was my idol. So I would go, that is my favorite Juve moment, which is not typical, but for what I want it to be, that was like something that stands out of my mind all the time.
Well, Alessandro Del Piero loves that answer. He agrees. But it's so true that season was so special for us because Del Piero was there. He wasn't exactly at the top of the game physically, but the fact that he was there, scoring on his last game, and kind of like Del Piero being there, it was so special to us. Let me ask you, do you remember where you were when you watched the first game against Parma, 3-1?
4-1, right?
4-1. I apologize.
4-1.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was 4-1.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I was just home. I think I was just home. I wasn't.
I think
don't
everyone
think I was,
remembers that game.
Yeah. It was. It's the ball. It's the ball over the top to Lichtsteiner. That was the moment where I said, oh, okay. I said, you know what? Maybe there's a team here, because I think did we play Notts County before, and it was a tie. It was like that friendly inauguration game, and I watched the game and I said, but it was a friendly. It's hard to take it. And Juventus was on tour. They played Club America, I think, during the time here in USA, and things didn't look great. But again, I was young, so I didn't realize that preseason friendlies didn't really translate to what's going to happen in the season. But it was that Lichtsteiner goal that I said, okay, yeah, maybe there's going to be something special in this team.
What about that Marquisio in the air, one touch? It's so beautiful. By the way, both of them follow us on Instagram, and I bother them about coming on the podcast. No go.
Wow.
No. Marquisio
Not yet.
Marquisio replies. I know that's that ultimate goal, right? But Lichtsteiner.
What did he reply?
I've sent him Turin Giants swag and stuff like that. He's a sweet guy. He reposts our stuff all the time. Lichtsteiner, no answer. McKenny, no answer. I always half jokingly say that they all follow us on Instagram, which is, I mean, they follow 1,000 accounts, so it's not that special, but it's pretty cool to be able to, drop a note.
Come on.
It's also moments. I mean, you catch anybody at a bad time. You could miss texts, or you can miss Instagram messages.
Nah, I understand.
I'm just being nice to you because you were nice to me in the beginning.
Who, me, or what are you talking about?
You.
Oh, appreciate you, man. Yeah, there's no way any of them are coming on our little podcast, but hopefully, dream big, right?
Never know. Why not?
Speaking of dreaming big, let's talk about your transition from. Actually, let's go back real quick. You mentioned Pogba. There was a famous moment in IFTV history,
Yes.
man. You in hindsight, first of all, tell us about the story about meeting him and getting that content before he left to Manchester United. If
So-
you're okay with that.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's like so many things have happened, so many years pass that you forget about those moments. Forget
I
about
remember.
how crazy that was. And like, looking back, that was just like a young, hungry kid that was
you
like
guys are
willing
so
to
young
just,
back then.
Yeah. Not knowing anything about the world, not knowing anything of like how you're supposed to do stuff. It was low key a young kid that was hurt, that was so devastated that Pogba was going to leave. At the moment, somebody that we propped up, that you watch him develop, and you don't want to believe that he's going to go, and not understanding the transfer market or anything. But I remember just seeing like a picture of him in the city, and I was like, wait, I know where that is. Like I know exactly. I remember it was on Tutto Sport, and I was like, come on, I want to find out for myself. Like I couldn't wait to just know what was going to happen. And there was like reports that he was like in some underground airport in London. I don't know if you guys remember any of this stuff, but like I was reading anything I could get. Rav, you remember? That was true, right?
Oh,
they said he was in an
completely.
underground
It
airport.
was insane. Yeah, the amount of coverage that was going on, because I think it was that.
Just to
summer
go back,
of
it was
the preseason.
2016. We didn't know whether he's going to leave or not, and you guys ran into. Well, you seeked him out apparently.
Yes,
I thought you
yes.
ran into him.
Yeah.
No. We
And then
we essentially stalked him to find
How
where
did
he
you
was.
guys
And
do that? That was
I-
amazing.
I know it was.
Young kids
Again,
with nothing to
people
do,
that
man.
don't know exactly. It was like summer. We just finished school, and we were just like, "Come on, like let's figure this out." I was like, "I need to ask him myself." I was basically like, every Juventus fan wanted to know: is it real or is it not real? And you don't find out until later that people lie, or this is the game of the transfer market. Like just because you ask somebody a question and they answer you does not mean that that's the truth. But young, hungry kids that just want to not believe that he's going to be going to Manchester United. That's sort of how it happened. And yeah, we posted the video, and I remember going to sleep, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?" My phone was just like blowing up. We didn't think it was going to be anything like that. I just thought, some people on Twitter that follow me are going to love. I thought Juventus fans are going to love it. And then once the English pick it up, once English media picks it up, it just hits like a level of people and a level of interactions that's like crazy to even think about. And then he ends up signing for Man United, so it essentially becomes completely irrelevant. But for that moment, it felt important.
Lessons were learned back then. I mean, he
Lessons
did say
learned.
on camera that he is staying at Juventus.
Yes.
Obviously, I don't know. He could have handled that better, because he put you guys in a kind of a tough spot as young kids. You guys. Yeah, I imagine it was a rough moment. It was a rough moment for all of us. Back in 2016, Twitter was popping. I don't even go on Twitter anymore. I don't mind telling you, but 2016, I remember this kid made up a correspondence name which had like a bad word in it.
Di Culo. There was something
Yes.
Gianluca Di Culo.
Yeah.
No,
me and my buddy talk about that all the time. We randomly just say.
Fico, no? But anyways,
Fabio Fico. Yeah.
he
Oh,
made
that
up,
one I
he
don't
made up a
remember.
lie about Pogba,
Yeah.
and then English papers started picking
Yeah,
up. It
they
was
did.
such a surreal
Yeah.
time in Juve Twitter history, man. It
Here's
was
some
legendary.
context. One of my closest friends is that typical Manchester United fan that is completely delusional, that believes
Ugh.
every single thing, that like will post Massimo Di Culo on his story without ever checking it. He's literally my best friend. So part of that was also like to tell him like, look, he's saying it. And you could even hear it in my voice now that I'm thinking about the video. I'm like, oh, you are? You're going to stay? And like, I don't blame Pogba. Like, he didn't even know what was, I mean, he can't say, he couldn't come out and say there's games, there's so much money that's involved. So, it was just a crazy moment in like internet or Calcio Twitter history.
It was definitely a legendary moment, man. I remember we went to Cardiff with Maurizio around Juventus, and all of these Juve Twitter people came, and we were hanging out, drinking together. It was such a surreal moment. It was good times, man.
That's what's cool about that. It's like, to me, I love Maurizio. Maurizio is he's the best. And
Trying to get him
Luca,
on
I
this
mean,
podcast too.
Yeah, come on, you could get Maurizio.
He hates podcast. No, he refuses worse than Lichtsteiner, I swear.
Smart
But,
man. I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. Like,
But
why?
we did get him once after the Atletico win, the famous 3-0. We did have a video podcast. But anyway, it's not about him. It's about you. Let's get out of the basement of IFTV and kind of we didn't know how the whole thing with CBS started. How did they approach you? Were you just? I can't imagine the buzz you felt. When you went on an interview. How did the process get started? You, of course, now big time pundit on CBS. People can catch you at pre-games and halftime shows and all of that stuff. Wearing nice suits, by the way. Well done. How did they approach you?
Yeah, so it's for a while that I think Serie A in America was there was really nothing. I mean, that was also my big gripe, is that I felt like the league wasn't doing enough. There was nobody really talking about it. It was not easy to watch. I remember back in the day it was on beIN Sports, if you remember that, and it was hard to just like watch any game. I think they used to put on, I don't remember exactly, but I think they used to just throw on one game, and
It
you
was
used to have to.
720p. It wasn't even high def.
Yeah, it was like you couldn't choose anything that you wanted to watch, and it was just frustrating for me. And before that, we had Rai International to be able to watch Serie A in this country. It was certainly not easy. And then when CBS and Paramount got the rights, it was like a breath of fresh air that you could just watch anything you wanted. And it was the fact that they cared about trying to tell stories about the league and try to bring coverage and create content around it, and just like really understanding what makes Serie A so special. So to me, that was just it was amazing, and then to be at the forefront of that, for them they reached out to me, and I didn't have aspirations or goals to just do that. I was just making content online on YouTube, but it was pretty surreal. It was a pretty crazy experience for me to get to that. But the bigger thing was just like, I was just so, as a fan, I was like, wow, thank God somebody's promoting Serie A. Like, at least it's starting to get to that place. Like I mentioned, I always go back to my story as a child. Like, the Premier League became so popular in this country because it was so accessible for everybody. I mean, you could go to bars in Brooklyn right now. You'll find fans wearing Everton jerseys. Like, that doesn't exist here, So I said, okay, this is a place to have awareness. This is going to be something that I think long term could really be special. So it's been a crazy journey for me. I've sort of just been learning, and I've had amazing people behind the scenes and production that have helped teach me and guide me and try to always learn and improve and do better. But at the core of it is always to just try to tell my feelings on the game. I love the times that they've sent me pitch side. It's amazing, doing interviews with the players and they put me on a platform that I would never be able to get on. I mean, we talked about Del Piero a lot. I mean, I've done multiple shows with him and I. We did the Coppa Italia final together. He's been on set with us. He came a couple months ago, I should say. So to get that time is incredible. It's really special, and it's been fun. It's been a fun journey,
dude. Your journey just starting, man. I mean, you're so humble. I love hearing that. You came up from the basement to San Siro as well. You should name your autobiography like that. I don't know. Is it a basement? I keep calling it a basement, but is it a garage or a basement?
So I don't know if we moved up, but it started a garage and then it went to a basement. So I don't know if that's higher or lower. You actually. There was air conditioned, so I think a little higher.
You had to go low before you went to San Siro interviewing. So, have you met Thierry Henry? You have.
Yes.
You guys are colleagues, right? Basically.
They did Destination Brooklyn one time, where they did a Champions League show from Brooklyn. Actually, the field that my college played on, they ended up doing their entire show there. So me and the rest of the Serie A crew, we did a few segments with them. Juventus, you know when it was? Do you remember when Juventus were embarrassed in the Champions League against? Was it Maccabi?
Which time?
Yeah. I think it was the Maccabi Tel Aviv one.
Oh man!
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Sure.
That was
Yeah.
it was like being stabbed in the heart. Like to have to go talk about it and like. I said, God damn, like this is the one time, Juve. Like, come on, how did it have to be this? I'm pretty sure, and Juventus did not go far in Champions League. That was sort of like the downturn of where Juventus were going. But yeah, we did shows and segments with him, and I think a couple other times just like on their connection, like not in studio with him, but that one time was at Destination Brooklyn, which was pretty cool. And I brought cannoli to the set, so I allowed them to try some Brooklyn cannoli.
That's beautiful,
awesome.
man. I mean, hobnobbing with these guys, it must be amazing, man. You have to agree, Del Piero does have that crazy aura around him, doesn't he?
Oh, 100%.
He carries himself. He's never silly.
Oh,
He's
man,
always
I'm so
looks you
jealous.
straight in the eye. Meeting him was definitely super cool.
He's fun. He's funny
but
too.
yeah,
Like
he can bust some balls, man, for sure.
I feel like he really shows his personality on CBS. Like anytime he's on, like he's got this like I don't know what the word would be, but like he's funny.
kind of
Like
quirky.
yeah. He's
Yeah,
like got this
yeah.
edge to him that's really cool. Because CBS just puts everybody to allow them to show their personalities, which is like the craziest thing to me. I mean, I've seen it firsthand. It's like be yourself, be you. Lean into it, have fun, which is awesome. Like to me, there's nothing better. I never thought that's how things would be, but we've been really lucky. And so I think you see the best out of all everybody that's on their shows. You mentioned Henri. I mean, Del Piero. Since I've worked with him, I mean, I think he was incredible. The Coppa Italia one was real fun to be on set with him, to be there at the game, and we interviewed Bukama, and we had some fun with him, and we sang and we danced. It's real cool. But yeah, it's all credit to CBS for putting me at least in that position to succeed.
No, man, it
I'm
really shows.
just going to say real quick, because the coverage that we have over here in the UK, especially when it comes to Serie A, it has been passed from like different companies to different companies. And when I speak to people in America, every time the feedback is always the same. CBS, what they're doing with Serie A, and the guys that present it, obviously including Marco, who's a big part of it. It's amazing. And I'm not just kissing butt. I'm not just trying to I'm not scoring points or anything. Everybody tells me like get a VPN, sign up to CBS.
It's really good,
It's really
man.
good
Like
coverage.
genuinely very
I've
good
seen
cover.
it. It's amazing. It's absolutely fantastic compared to what we get here. I would rather watch what you guys have there compared to what we have here. So
That's very
my
kind.
Glowing into
No,
Marco.
that's great. I think the key word is authenticity. Like when you have people that really love the league and want to prop it up and want to tell good stories about it and just put love into it. I think if you are a Serie A fan, or if you're trying to get into it, just try to make it easy in that sense. So that's awesome to hear from you, Rav and Farhad. The fact that you get to obviously tune in is awesome. So it's great to have you guys' feedback on that end.
Okay. So I was going to say, obviously, I mean, Marco probably gets to watch a lot of Serie A, gets to watch a lot of the opposition. So realistically, I'm going to put you on the spot. When do you think Juventus will win the Serie A title again?
Oh, great question. Yeah. Great question. I feel like I'm about to be prisoner of the moment. It's not this year. I'm sorry to tell you. I'm not in that camp. I'm not going that far.
But there's some people who are predicting it.
You guys think so?
No. I mean, it's going to take such miracles. I mean, this weekend was great with all the draws, and they took advantage of it. It's good to know that Juve is a team that can take advantage of those moments. But question was for you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be this year. If you say hopeful, within the next.
Let's redo the question. Sorry, Rav. What do you think will take? What do you think will take for Juve to finally get over the hump? Like, what do they need to do?
They need their sporting director to be really good this time, and to make proper decisions. And for me, it's that structure that's bigger than anything else. And it's great that they're taking the steps. I hope that they're taking the steps now. But I also thought that they were going to take the right steps when they got Giuntoli and Thiago Motta. I thought that would be the rebuild that would take Juventus back. I think a hopeful, realistic is within 2 years that I think Juventus could compete for the Scudetto again. Wow. There's so many there's a lot of variables because I mean, I really think that Napoli are scary what they could build, depending on what happens in the summer. Inter as well. Like, these teams have foundations that I think they're so solid that they can move on from a coach and they'll be okay. And they'll actually continue to get better, right? That's what I mean. Inter had Spalletti, then they went to Conte, then they went to Inzaghi, then they went to Kivu. I mean, they've got better and better and better. Juventus, I still feel like we don't know. We don't know if it's real. We don't know if Bremer goes down injured tomorrow, and a knock on wood, God forbid. All of a sudden, I feel like we're gonna have the same conversations again. Oh, can Juventus be in the top 4? You know, it's like it's on thin ice. You know, it doesn't feel still stable and solid. So I think it's really hard to answer now, January 2026. But if this is the real deal, if Spalletti does stay and they back him and they continue on this project, which I think, again, maybe I'm being prisoner of the moment. I think it will work. Not this season. Next year or the year after, I think they could compete for the title and compete for the Scudetto. But the competition in Italy is getting difficult. It's not like it was once. You know, there's not one team. It's no longer one team that you have to be better than. There's 2-3 teams. Juventus today is not better than Inter. They're not better than Napoli. They're not better than those teams. Yep. Those teams, proven winners, guys that have been there before, ready to fight. They could win dirty. They could win in any way. They have game changers everywhere. Napoli's doing this without 4 starters, without 4 or 5 starters.
Yeah.
Juventus, without Yildiz, you take Yildiz, Thuram, and Bremer off this team, where does the squad go? So, not to be negative. I don't want to be negative, but I'm just trying to be realistic about the situation.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What do you guys think? What's your answer to that question?
We're not here. We're not here to get You're the guest. You're the guest. But yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right.
I was going to say.
Rav is gonna do it. Come on.
There you go.
I think if Inter drop points, if they go a little bit deeper in the Champions League, they get an injury, they draw a couple of games, Spalletti being Spalletti, you know, like shaking his players around. I always believe I say this to Farhad every time, every single competition we're in. I'm such a sucker because I'm always like, oh yeah, we can win. I believe until the absolute end. I'm like
fair enough,
eternal optimist. So yeah, this season, you make a good point. I think it's tricky to make up those points against Inter, but yeah, you know.
Okay, here's the test: Napoli, Atalanta, Lazio, Inter, Como, Roma. Those are games that get Juventus to March. Okay, you get past that. Now we're talking about something serious. You get to March, April, we can have a completely different conversation. I still think the sample size is too small for me. And if I would answer today, I would say that there's 2 or 3 teams that are above, that feel more solid. Because things do go wrong in the season, and then what Juventus does in Champions League, I mean, we still don't know. That's how I feel. But I love that you are the internal optimist. It's a better way of living, to be honest. Why wouldn't you just believe?
Well, would you say you're a pretty positive person? Like, without having to meet you, you're so bubbly and upbeat. I like that.
Except when it comes to to football. When it comes to football, like I'll tell you right now, ask me if Italy are going to go to the World Cup. They're not going to the World Cup. No, they're going to lose to Northern Ireland. They're going to lose.
That just makes you an Italian. You know.
Oh yeah.
I've been scarred.
They're so negative.
I've been scarred. The last 2 times I was at both of those games. I was there when we lost against Sweden. I was there when we lost against North Macedonia. I'm staying right here in Brooklyn. I'm not going anywhere. But I said in those times that Italy would go to the World Cup, and it was a disaster. So now I'm saying they're not going to go. I've become a negative person in this sense, Farhad.
You're the Del Piero of Italian national team. I always say, Del Piero, please don't go to Juve games. It started in Berlin against Barcelona, and
is that a thing?
Oh my God, he's so bad for us.
I don't know this.
Go back, somebody chat GPT it or something. When Del Piero attends Juve games,
nah, I'm not buying this. I'm not buying it. I don't think it's him. I think it's not having a midfield for too many years.
Let me blame it on someone, right? Yeah, man, that's awesome. Before we get to, I like to do a little quick fire. I call it questions on the spot here on the podcast. You're going to be the first. Well, not first. We've done it with Mina, Ruzuki. We've done it with Beppe.
Oh, nice.
Where I ask questions for the followers and listeners to get to know you a little better. But before we move to that and say goodbye, what's the future of IFTV? What's the future of your time at CBS? Any plans, and how can people follow your journey?
Yeah, absolutely. So IFTV, we do our podcast released every single week where we talk about Italian football. We have some good merch that's coming out soon. Subtle plug. Sorry, I had to. In March for Italy to not go to the World Cup. Probably shouldn't be framing it as that, but no, yeah, just trying to innovate and continue to push content and continue to push this league, which I think it's the best league race that we have in Europe. It's just so competitive, so exciting. I love not knowing every single week what's going to happen. Anyone could upset anyone. And then our CBS stuff, you could watch Serie A not even every single week anymore. I mean, there's games tomorrow. I'm going to be in studio. Wednesday, Thursday, I'll be in studio. Actually, I don't know when this is coming out, but on CBS and Paramount Plus, yeah, it's just incredible. I feel extremely lucky, fortunate, blessed that I was born in the right moment in time, in the right moment in history, to be able to do what I'm doing and to have such an exciting league title race where again, just the content that we get every week. And I'm starting to feel like, maybe this is the optimist in me, but I'm starting to see a lot of people who don't necessarily are not Italians or not classic Italian fans that didn't grow up loving Serie A. They're starting to get into the league because it's being a little bit, it's easier to watch the games, and yeah, to me that's what I love most. So seeing that growth is something that I'm really looking forward to.
Mad props, man. That's awesome. I can see CBS giving you your own show soon. Like, I'm not even kidding. You're mature, grow up a little bit. I can totally see you handling like a panel of, just bring Antonio on, man. Is there a sign outside of CBS that says do not let this man in?
I'm holding that sign. It's me. I am.
The one who posted it. This over caffeinated, angry.
I think
man.
I think I need to just FaceTime and let you talk to Antonio, because you brought him up so many times on this podcast. I think you have a little love for Anto. I think that's what it is.
Listen, man, anytime he's in Chicago, I'm buying him an espresso, a beer, whatever he wants, man. You guys are lucky to have him on. But
send me your number after. The next time I'm with him, I'm just going to FaceTime you.
I love that
so you can talk to him.
I love that. Meeting Del Piero and then Antonio would be the I've made it, Mom.
You got to fix your priorities, man.
But speaking of, family structure, I wanted to shout out the fact that sometimes you post pictures of your family gatherings and your little nieces and nephews and your mom. It's just wonderful to see. This is what hugging and loving your kids gets you, people. This wonderful human being here is a product of love. So you can see you had a great family structure growing up, and
honestly,
I'm pretty sure they're so happy and proud of you.
I say it all the time. It's not me at all. Like, I'm just a creation of what they did. They were incredible. I had incredible parents. Even in the mistakes, because everybody makes mistakes. Even in the mistakes, it's like you learn from everything, and to be able to be taught in that way from my parents, my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles. Again, I feel blessed. I couldn't even imagine having a better upbringing. Even in the tough moments, even what people would see as negative or difficult. I mean, they taught me how to go through those things, and they didn't shelter me from difficulties or to be disappointed or he's always got to win. He's got to be no. It was like they threw me into the fire. When you fall, because you're gonna fall, you're gonna scratch yourself. Fire? You know what I mean. It was like those things. I always look back and think to myself how lucky I was to just like be balanced in those moments and to not just shelter me from everything, because I think it helps you long term. So all the credit of anything nice that you say to me does not go to me. It goes to my parents.
Well, Alessandro Del Piero is giving your family a shout out. It's very nice. Awesome, man. Well, we're almost done here, but we had to do something fun. So I need to come up with a funny segment name for this. So it's basically, I'm going to try to read my handwriting best I can. Here's a few questions. We're going to put you on the spot so people can get to know Marco a little better.
Yes.
What do you prefer on vacation? Sightseeing type of vacation or bumming out at the beach with a drink?
Bumming out at the beach with a drink.
What's your favorite beach in Italy?
Oh, 100%. It's in Sicily. Trapani, where my father was born. 100%.
I love that. I've never been to an Italian beach, but they're very small, but people seem to have fun. All right. What's the name of it again?
So my father is from Trapani. I have a picture on my phone right here. You can see it. This is called Castellammare del Goffo.
Beautiful.
That is gorgeous.
It's very small, but it's beautiful. It's perfect.
Do you wear a Speedo? Be honest.
So I grew up in a household with 2 older sisters and a mom, a lot of women in my family. So I was forced to wear one when I was about 6 years old, and they still have the pictures that they still joke around with. Since that day, I've never worn it, but I can't say I haven't. It's just been a while.
Listen, man, if I'm in Italy and I'm at the beach, I'm rocking a Speedo. I'm sorry.
Oh man, now I have that image in my head.
Well, my next question was favorite place in Italy. What's your favorite place besides the beach in Sicily?
Florence. I love Florence. I've had incredible experiences there. I'm a big walker. I love walking everywhere. I don't really like getting in a car, and Florence is a place you can walk everywhere. They'll tell you, if you go to Florence, they'll tell you, oh no, you can't walk here, it's too far. You can walk there. If you're from a city, if you're from New York like me, you can walk everywhere. I absolutely love it. The food is my favorite. The people are just incredibly nice. And it's big, but it's small at the same time. So it's one place that I want to live one day in my life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, I've been. I mean, it's such a picturesque city, but man, do not go there during summer. It is.
Yeah.
Go off season, man, because tourists and sadly pickpocketers will get you, huh?
Yeah.
Have you ever been pickpocketed, by the way?
Oh my! I mean, I need to knock now and say and no. But again, I was also raised in a crazy way where, I mean, they teach you when you're like 12 years old how to ride the New York subways. Like we have we literally have a parent that will teach you, and it's like, keep your head down, look at your shoes. When I walk with my hands in my pocket, where I'm holding my phone and I'm holding my keys and my wallet in another hand. Like, so you got to go through my hands if you're gonna get something from me. Typically,
it's so sad. We grew up in the U.S. and that's we have our defense mechanisms, right? Awesome, man. Where do you get your suits? I've mentioned your suits on CBS.
Ooh.
Where do you get them? Do you get them tailored like a good Italian boy?
Yes, I do get them tailored. I get them from Brunello Cucinelli. They're really beautiful Italian brand. Yeah, they're top quality. They'll last you for life.
Love it. When next time you guys in New York, look up that place. Who's the most famous person on your phone that you can text right now and get a reply?
Cannavaro or Materazzi?
Beautiful. And he's right there behind you, man, Materazzi, in the famous photo, if you're watching on video. Love it. Cannavaro seems like a cool dude, right? I'm not mentioning Materazzi. I'm sorry. This is Juve podcast after all, but Cannavaro is a cool dude. Sounds like.
I'm sorry. I swear to you, people don't believe this. Materazzi is genuinely one of the nicest human beings I've ever met in my life. Not even players, just like human beings. The guy's got he's crazy EQ. Like he's he's just so emotionally smart. I know on the field it's something that I get it. But I'm telling you, the guy's incredible. Cannavaro is so funny. Oh, Cannavaro too, humble. We were pitch side with him, Parma Milan, where Parma won the match. Did they win or did they tie? I can't even remember. I think Parma won last year, and he was there with us in Parma. So you could imagine the reception that he received being there. And I mean, he had people flooding him from all directions, and I felt bad. I said, "Guys, come on, move away." He goes, "Marco, these are my people. Like, why are you? Don't stop. It's fine. It's okay. It's crazy. It's madness, but don't worry. They're here. They want to take pictures. No problem." And I couldn't believe it. Beautiful person, kind soul. Humble as well.
The guy doesn't age either, right?
He looks good.
It's insane.
He looks good. It's because he smiles a lot. Like he's genuinely just such a happy person, and he's one of the first players that I really got connected to from that group, from that 2006 group, and it's just I can't even tell you some of the things that he said to me. Thanking me when we were on. Oh, thank you so much for how you helped me. Thank you. Oh, you did it. I said, Fabio, hey, you did everything for me. I would not be in this position if Italy didn't win the 2006 World Cup, because I don't think I would have had that same fire. So Cannavaro is class, gentleman, exactly what you'd think Cannavaro would be.
And the opposite of that is Cassano, right?
You guys are going to think I'm lying.
Do not say nice things about him.
Cassano was typical, like, he's going to bust your balls. But you could see that he means really well. Like, he was super. He understood the situation. We did a surprise where we surprised Antonio with Cassano, and Cassano. We agreed. I said, I'm gonna take 5 minutes of your time. I said, we're gonna do a surprise. You go the other way. Cassano saw how much it meant to Antonio. And he said, come up to my hotel. I want to have a drink with you guys. We hung out with him for like 2 hours. He goes, ask me anything. And then we had a camera, and I said, he was saying some wild stuff. Like, I didn't even post the stuff because I didn't want him to get in trouble. And I told him, I said, Antonio, like, I know you see we have a camera, but don't worry. Like, I'm going to cut this out. He goes, don't cut anything out. He goes, post it. I don't care what anyone. So he's authentically himself. He's for sure not playing up anything that he says. I don't agree with a lot of stuff. And I even told him in a lot of the videos, like, come on, Antonio, you can't say that. That's not true. I think we were fighting about Marotta. He didn't like some stuff about Marotta, and I was like, come on, you can't argue for how great Marotta is. But he's himself. Like, he's not doing it for a camera. And I saw how he knew how to make this a special day for our guy Antonio, and he did not have to do. There's no world that he should have done what he did. And then we were fighting over the check and all this stuff. He's like, guys, anytime, please text me, message me. I want to see him. When he comes to Italy, he'll be my guest. For a random guy, for literally a random person.
Awesome. Wow,
that's awesome. Well, that's good to get a little insight about the players that you hung out with. That whole generation of Italy. So
they're different. They're like, I don't know how to say this in words, but like, they've just got soul to them. They got character. I think character is the best way to describe them.
I mean, happiness also. How do I phrase that? They've accomplished something. I mean, those world champions will never buy a drink in their life. They're just so beloved. So that's good to see. I just saw the video yesterday of Cannavaro stepping off the plane with Lippi when they won the World Cup. It was just like goosebumps, man. The Italian flag out of the cockpit of the airplane, beautiful. And last question, probably the weirdest, and it's a terrible way to end the podcast. What is the strangest animal meat you've ever eaten?
Oh, I was tricked into eating rabbit when I was a kid in Italy on my family's farm in Italy where my father grew up. They told us when we were like 13, 14 that it was chicken. And
well, everything tastes like chicken.
Yeah, and obviously it wasn't. But it's kind of hard to, they have it right in front of you, and for me it's hard to look at. It was hard to like watch, but then they tricked me, and I was young, and I ate it, and I've never had it since. So I'm not an exotic eater though. I pretty much stay in my lane.
You stay in your Italian lane.
Yeah, I'm pretty. My friends are always yelling at me that I need to try a little bit more. Like they had horse meat one time. One of my friends had ostrich and something. For me, go enjoy it. I don't need to. I'm okay. I don't have any aspirations for that.
What's your Italian go-to dish? Do you cook? No.
No.
No. That's okay. That's okay.
I'm bad.
What's your favorite thing? Food for the soul for you.
Wow. Depends. It for sure depends what I'm in the mood for. My mom makes a crazy good lasagna. It's basic, but my mom's lasagna is great. We just had ravioli too for Christmas. The ravioli are amazing. Probably, I would say the ravioli. Nice. For Christmas, I'm not a material person. I don't like material things at all. I say it all the time. Like I tell my family, guys, forget gifts. Gifts it's bullshit. It's stuff that you put around you. Nobody cares about it. I said, Mom, just give me some extra ravioli, 50 to 100 ravioli, and I'll put it inside my freezer, and then I can warm it up. That's the only, and genuinely, that makes me happy. Nice. Like that is the best thing that I could have. And then the next day, just having it, reheating it myself, it's perfect. So I'll go with my mom's ravioli.
Beautiful way to end the podcast. Marco, Dude, it was such a pleasure to finally chat with you, finally meet you, Rav. Thank you for supporting me here on our first episode of Turin Giants After Hours. Please check out all of the programs that we offer. The Scoop, the Transfer Show, post games are always there. Literally 5 minutes after the games ends. And sometimes I tell the guys that there's stuff happening 20 minutes after the game, but they insist on recording right away. YouTube channel is growing. And like I said, Juventus is on the come up, and we had a wonderful guest. Marco, anything people should check you out, or any last words? Hopefully,
No,
not
thank you
last
guys.
words.
Thank you guys for having me on. It's amazing. I think the more I've said this to a couple people as well. I was on a few other English speaking podcasts, Napoli ones, and I said it's a great web that we should create English speaking content about Serie A, about the teams that you love. I think everyone could rise together, and this is what they do a great job. I said earlier how I got my inspiration in England. They did a fantastic job where there's hundreds of channels, all the content that's being flooded. That's how people could find out about the game, and I think maybe that is the edge. That's the missing piece that Serie A has not had in a long time, and it's podcasts like these, it's shows like yours, YouTube channels, the content that's coming out that slowly grabs one fan here and there, and at least helps others understand more about the teams that maybe they wouldn't if they didn't speak English and didn't grow up with this stuff. So big credit to you. You're doing some great work here, and it was a pleasure for me to come on.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, boys and girls. Thank you for checking us out, as always. Rav, you want to say bye? I didn't mean to ignore you. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I'm going to say the same thing I always say, which is Forza Juve. So
That's right.
yeah, and
Check on
thank
your
you, Marco,
friends.
for coming on.
Check on your friends. Stay hydrated, and Forza Juve.
Ciao.